There are a lot of things that make the Vital Bracelet digital monster unique compared to other V-Pets, and one of its flashiest features is the DiM card system. Unlike previous pets where you would buy a separate device when you wanted to raise new Digimon, this time you can simply buy a DiM card, plug that into the Vital Bracelet, and get a whole new set of Digimon to raise. The Vital Bracelet has been out for just over a month, and there are already 18 DiM cards either released or planned for release later this year. So I wanted to go through a few of these that I haven't touched on yet. We're not going to go over the ones that have already been fully exposed that we've been using for a month. We're going to start off with the Volume 1 cards. So this would be the Volcanic Beat and Blizzard Fang, featuring Lavorvamon and Paledramon on the artwork there. So we did get, on the day that the Vital Bracelet released, we got a little magazine along with it that showed off which Digimon you can raise in it. And just this past week, these cards actually released, filling in the last Digimon that we didn't know about. We know about it now for each device, and letting us actually start raising on these. So because I haven't touched on it on the channel before, I'll just quickly run through what Digimon are on these devices. So for Volcanic Beat, we start off with Mokumon and Petit Meramon, both of which come from the Nightmare Soldier's pendulum back in the day, and they become, of course, Vorvamon. Vorvamon has an option to evolve into Birdramon, Tyrannomon, Lavorvamon, or Meramon, and they can further evolve into Master Tyrannomon, Flaremon, Volcamon, Death Meramon, Lavagaridamon, and Groundramon. Then we have the ultimate stage at the end, where we can see Marsmon, Volcanicdramon, and Cannondramon. Now in this picture I'm using here from the magazine, the last spot is blank, but we do know now that that would be Ancient Volcamon, appropriate since we do have Volcamon on here, and Ancient Volcamon also just appeared on the Nature Spirits Pendulum not too long ago. So, the Pendulum Z, I should say, specifically. So, overall, a solid roster. It's got a good mix of things. There hasn't been really a fire-themed field in Digimon before. There have been definitely a lot of fire-themed Digimon, but usually a lot of these Digimon will fall into Dragon's Roar, or they'll fall into Nightmare Soldiers. There's a few different spots that they end up. So now they got their own field just for fiery stuff. And also, Groundramon is here too, I guess. I didn't really consider him that much of a fiery Digimon, but yeah, I guess he is. Cannondramon too. It's interesting to see him. We haven't seen Cannondramon in like anything in a long time. Marsmon neither. Both of them are from Digimon World 3, aren't they? So that's cool. Great to see them there. Overall, really solid roster. Focused around Vorvamon, which he's a pretty cute little dragon, isn't he? So, moving on to Blizzard Fang, the other of this set. This is all, of course, Frost theme. We also didn't have a Frost theme before. Most Ice Digimon would fall into Deep Sabers most of the time, because, you know, water and ice, they're mixed together a lot in a lot of different media when it comes to the elements. But now, Blizzard Fang is its own separate thing. These aren't technically fields, I guess, but they definitely feel like the old Pendulum fields. So, on Blizzard Fang, we actually have brand new Digimon on this one, so that was very surprising. Volcanic Beat didn't have any brand new Digimon, they were all returning from somewhere else, but this one we have some brand new guys. So we see, for the babies, we see Yukimi Bodamon, Hayarimon, who is completely brand new. It's a little, like a base, I don't know, it's kind of like a bear with a little drippy nose, similar to, I don't know, there's a Pokemon that it reminds me of. I don't know the Pokemon's name, but it does remind me of that with the little nose drip going on there. But either way, that's not important right now. It's pretty cute. Then we have Blukomon, or Blukomon, however you want to pronounce it, from the Digimon Encounters. It also appeared in the Digital Monster X3, so most of us are familiar with Blukomon by now. Blukomon can evolve into Yukidarumon, Paledramon, Hyogamon, or Moosmon. Interesting to have an armor on there. We saw a few armors on the Ancient Warriors, but now we see another armor in a just normal thing. Vmon you would expect to become armor Digimon. You wouldn't really expect that as much from a just normal Digimon, so that's cool to see they're still using them elsewhere. Hyogamon is a filter recolor, so I'm not happy to see it, but whatever. Moving on, the perfect stages. We have Mamon, Pangiamon, another filthy recolor, Cressamon, Crispaledramon, Daipenmon, and Frozomon. So, Frozomon is another brand new one. He's basically a Zamboni. He's got like this hot knife going on the side. He's a big mecha thing, so another pretty cool addition. Happy to see him here. And then in Ultimates we have Hexablaumon, Skullmamon, and another brand new Digimon, Frost Velgramon. So it shares a name with regular Velgramon, but it certainly doesn't resemble it too much, I will say. Similar to how Belluchimon and Skull Belluchimon look basically nothing alike whatsoever. But either way, I am always happy to see more birds. We do not have enough bird Digimon, so great to see another big old frosty bird up in here. Now the last slot, which is blank here, we now know that that is Ancient Megatheriumon, which makes sense, perfect place to put it, and it complements Ancient Volcamon well. So those are the Volume 1 cards. They just released, so those are in people's hands right now. I actually should be getting mine sometime early this week, either Monday or Tuesday. We'll see how fast. Probably Tuesday. If not Tuesday, then Wednesday. Either way, I'll have them here pretty soon. So that's Volume 1. The next thing that we're going to go over are the GP volume cards. Now, these ones were a bit divisive. There were some people that really ate this up, really liked it. What Bandai decided to do was to release 4 DiM cards in honor of Digimon Tamer's anniversary, and each of these cards was focused around one of the primary characters from Digimon Tamers, except for Terriermon. Terriermon did not get included. And instead of just selling these, though, they did a bit of the GP stands for basically Gashapon, which is that, you know, you go to Japan and you can put in 100 or 200 yen in a little machine, crank it out, toy comes out, there you go. They took that concept and put it here, but we know it by a different name over here, which is basically loot boxes. It's not exactly the same thing, I suppose, but it is still assigning random chance to getting something of value. And so a lot of people were buying like 10 of these at a time, even though no one would reasonably need to have more than 4, maybe 8 if you have 2 people running in the household that want to run all of these, but most people will only need 4 of these, so it leads to people buying a lot of extra ones. Japanese fans especially were not happy, and I 100% agree with them. Did not like the way they were selling these, and apparently Bandai decided to listen, because they actually put out a tweet saying they won't be doing the GP series anymore in the future. They're going to be sticking to selling DIMs the normal way. They might still do promotional DIMs here and there, but they're going to be sticking to not leaving it up to random chance. So I respect that. I'm glad they did that. If you did like the GP series, you know, that's your thing. That's fine. You're allowed to like what you like. But I do find overall that it would be better for everyone to have these things be able to be sold normally. So that is past, though. They are done being sold. They ran out of stock. So I guess it's to be expected with people buying 10 at a time. But either way, let's go over the roster of these. So the 4 characters being represented, we have Guilmon, Renamon, Impmon, and Monodramon. Terriermon is conspicuously absent, so most people are assuming that Terriermon and Lotmon are going to appear in a more proper DIM set later on, as they are good complements to one another. So as far as the rosters go, they are also very limited rosters, meaning that I don't particularly care about these. Generally speaking with V-Pets, if it's only got one thing to turn into, it's not interesting. That's just how it is for me. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's not interesting for everyone, but that is how I feel. But so for Guilmon, we start off with I always forget this thing's name. That's Jarimon, Gigimon, Guilmon, Graumon, Megalograumon, and then that can evolve into one of 3 different Dukemon. So you have normal, you have medieval Dukemon, and you have chaos Dukemon. For Impmon, that starts off as a little Keymon, it evolves into Yamon, Impmon, Weezermon, Balmon, and then that can evolve into one of 3 Beelzebumons, either normal, the 2010 Cross Wars version, or Blast Mode. For Renamon, we start off with, oh gosh, I can never, it's like, I don't even remember. Relamon's the second one. First one, it'll have its name up here, it's like, I don't know, I'm not even going to guess, I can't remember this little fluffball's name. So, either way, that turns into Relamon, then Renamon, Cubimon, Taumon, and then Taumon can turn into Sakuyamon, Sakuyamon Miko mode, or Kuzuhamon, which is basically Dark Sakuyamon. And then for Monodramon, who was honestly a surprising choice, but whatever, he's cool, we have Ketomon, Hotmon, Monodramon, Strike-Dramon, Cyberdramon, and then Cyberdramon evolves into Justimon, featuring the 3 different arm variants. So you have Blitz Arm, Excel Arm, and Critical Arm. So there you go. That is the GP series. Not a whole lot to talk about. If you really like Tamers, you know, great, go for it. Try to get your hands on these, but I'm going to be skipping them altogether because they just aren't super interesting to me whatsoever. Now, next thing, though, is very interesting because we did get word that Black Roar and Shadow Howl were going to be released as full DIMs. We have known that for a while now, and thank heavens, I guess when they said trial version, they really did mean just a trial version of these future DIMs. So I'm very happy about that. Seeing these fleshed out is great, especially because Black Roar was somewhat easy to come by if you were fast enough or if you know where to look, and it's not too hard to get your hands on. Shadow Howl, however, very difficult to acquire and very expensive to acquire now if you're buying it secondhand. So having full versions of these should really reduce the need for people to buy those other ones, unless you're a 100% collector completionist, which I'm sorry for your wallet. But if you're fine just having these Digimon on a different DIM, then here you go. They've got a great solution for you here, and these are full DIM, full 17 Digimon DIM. So we start off with Mad Black Roar. We have Bodamon and Koromon and Agumon Black, just like before. Greymon Blue is also back, as well as Metal Greymon Virus and Black War Greymon. So all those are still here. But in addition, for the adults, we have regular Greymon. We have Monochromon, which surprised to see that one. I love Monochromon, so glad to see here. And Dark Tyrannomon, a pretty obvious choice, but also another very good Digimon. We then have for the perfects, this one was a surprise, Metal Greymon Alterus mode from the 2020 Digimon Adventure : anime. So surprised to see it here, especially on the evil device. It would make more sense to see it on one of the more like good-natured devices, especially because the not device but DiM card, especially because the Agumon DiM did have like Blitz Greymon, for example, from the anime. So I was surprised it didn't show up on the Agumon DiM and instead is showing up on Mad Black Roar, but cool, space that out. We then have X Tyrannomon, which, you know, it makes sense. I like it. Vermillimon, I hate Vermillimon because it is just a filthy copy of Monochromon. I would have much rather just see Triceramon here, but whatever, I get it. We have Mametyramon, we have Skull Greymon, and then, like I said before, we have Metal Greymon Virus. So there you go, that's the perfects. Pretty good choices overall. And then the ultimates, everyone should be excited about this one. Victory Greymon is actually back. We haven't seen him in anything in quite a while, so, or at least anything that I pay attention to, which is mostly V-Pets. Maybe he's appeared somewhere else, I don't know. Have they appeared? Actually, I think they have appeared in the card game recently. I haven't been keeping good up with the card game. I love the card game, don't get me wrong, but it is difficult to keep up with, especially the English release, which is difficult to acquire, unfortunately. But either way, Victory Greymon's here, really cool, glad to see him. We have Black War Greymon, we have Guilmon, who makes sense. He's basically well, he was designed as Black War Greymon X before they decided to make him into his own Digimon and make a different Black War Greymon X. But yeah, there you go, there's Guilmon. And then we have, of course, Omegamon Zwart is back. So this will be one of the ones where you have 3 normal ultimates, and then you have a special Jogress, which will take place between Black War Greymon and Metal Garurumon Black from the True Shadow Howl DiM. So that's this one. Pretty solid overall. Honestly, I like it. It is a little bit heavy on the recolors there for me. Well, I guess it's only really 2 recolors, but so it's, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to say too much bad about this one because most of these Digimon are unique enough to where I'm good with it. So no problems at all with this, except for Vermillimon. Replace that with Triceramon, it'll be perfect. But still very good. Surprised how much I'm liking that one. We then have True Shadow Howl. So this one starts off again just like the last Shadow Howl with Punimon, Tsunomon, and Gabumon. So we got those 3. Garurumon, Weregarurumon, and Metal Garurumon Black. All of those being black. They all return, of course, as well. And then we see a few other choices here that make sense. So we see Garurumon, we see Garurumon, Weregarurumon Sagittarius mode. That's what it is, right? Sagittarius, yes. And then we have Zid-Garurumon, or Zed-Garurumon as it's known, I don't know. It's spelled Z''D, so however you want to say that is good with me. But there he is again. He always appears alongside Victory Greymon, so that makes perfect sense. You'll find that this complements the other device pretty well in several ways. Also, I just realized I went across. I've been going down this whole time. Let's fix that. We'll go backwards a little bit here. So we have Garurumon, Dromojamon, and Darulumon from Cross Wars is here. So that's cool. Dromojamon a weird one to show up too, because he's not like, I don't know, I guess he's got a horn. I guess kind of the theme overall is there's a lot of horns. Whatever. But I'm never not happy to see Dromojamon. He's really cute and wonderful. And Darulumon is actually one of the Digimon I don't hate from Cross Wars. So cool to see him there. Perfects, in addition to Sagittarius mode, we have Suberamon, we have Renamon, who is in armor. Most armors usually get placed as adult level Digimon, but here it's being used as a perfect. You'll see that a lot in Digimon where armors just kind of get thrown wherever they feel like throwing them at the moment. We see Pandemon, who is another puppet Digimon like X Tyrannomon, so that's kind of a good complement to the other DiM there. And we have Jaeger Darulumon, also from Cross Wars. I also like him pretty well. And then, of course, Weregarurumon Black. And then for the ultimates, we see Garurumon, Metal Garurumon Black. We have Mercurymon, which is really cool. He's from the Excel, also appeared in Digimon Savers, and as always had a lot of parallels with Garurumon and its design, so makes sense to see it here. And then once again we have Omegamon Sword, so nothing crazy to talk about right there. So that's Mad Black Roar and True Shadow Howl, so those should be coming out sometime later this year. I think it was September or October that they were supposed to be releasing, so that'll be a ways off. In addition to these, we also do have the Volume 2 and Volume 3 DIMs that will be releasing later this year as well. Volume 2 should be in June, I want to say. If it's not June, I'll correct that on the screen. And then the other one would be August, would be Volume 3. Volume 2 is going to be Infinite Tide and Titan of Dust. And of those, we know they focus on aquatic and rocky Digimon overall. I'm not really going to go into Volume 2 right now just because I've already touched on it in the past, and there hasn't been a lot of new information since the last time I talked about it. Volume 3, likewise, no new information there. We still only know the names, which are Hermit in the Jungle and New Metal Empire, so nothing new to talk about there, and that's basically where I'm going to leave this video. So hopefully, if you weren't already aware of what's on all these DIMs, you are better informed now. If you see any Digimon you like, go out and try to acquire them. The True Shadow Howl and Mad Black Roar are currently in pre-order on Premium Bandai. It hasn't hit Premium Bandai US yet, and I obviously can't ever say for sure whether they will hit Premium Bandai US or not. I know Japan You had them earlier today. They are probably sold out of the reserve they had for that, but you can still, of course, use a proxy to order them, although keep in mind, if you're using a proxy, you're going to be spending a lot of fees, and if it's just on one set of DIM cards, it's like, is it worth it to spend the around 10 USD in fees plus the 20 USD in shipping to get a $20 set of DIMs? I don't know. Maybe it's worth it for you, but that's the thing you gotta ask yourself if you decide to go that route, because it is expensive to import these. Hopefully they do make it easier to buy these in the US and other areas at some point, but for right now it's still mostly an importer's game. But if you have any questions about the DIMs, definitely hit up the Discord server, always linked in the description, and you can ask questions about them there, or if you have any questions about the Vital Bracelet in general. The guide is being updated with the new information for Volcanic Beat and Blizzard Fang. You'll see those updates come over the next week or so as I have time to add them in. And, of course, when new cards come out, I'll be updating those too. Next time we have enough news to talk about, I'll, of course, make another video as well to talk about whatever news that might be. And it will probably be Vital Bracelet related, but I've also got some non-Vital Bracelet related information coming your way too. As you should already know by now, the Digital Monster X is being released in English this summer, which is super exciting. I plan on making a video to help guide you through what the Digital Monster X entails, because most of you who are in the US and aren't big into V-Pets, and I'm not saying that all of you watching this are, I've got a variety of people. Some of you, the people watching this, haven't gotten a V-Pet yet. Some of you only have the Digital Monster version 20th. Some of you go crazy like me and buy them all over the place. But I feel like for the most part, people outside of Japan who are into V-Pets right now have the Digital Monster version 20th, and that might be it. That might be their only one. That's your only exposure to it. So there's a lot of differences in the Digital Monster X, so I plan on making a video about that in the near future, closer to the release of the Digital Monster X itself. So stay tuned for more information about that. And yeah, if you have anything you want me to cover, just let me know in the comments below. I do read all my comments. I may not always reply, but I do always read them. So before I go, one last thing that I forgot to say is that make sure to check out the live streams I do on Thursday nights, where I do development on my website. I work on finding requirements, updating the website, and some other things, and just kind of talk and hang out. So if you want to see that part of the process, definitely hit up the live stream this Thursday night. I do them at 8 o'clock Eastern time, so feel free to come and hang out. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.